Man, so the people around here were tiny, anywhere between 2 apples high and 5 apples high is probably my best guess as a unqualified archaeologist. Good morning, adventurators. I'm off today into the deserts of Uzbekistan to go and find the relics of the ancient civilization of the Khorezms. Khorezms have been around, well, they were around for millennia. We're going to go and try to uncover a few things of the past empires. So this will be fun. Come along with me and we'll go and find the ancient Khorezm kingdom, empire, cities, whatever it was. We'll find out today. Alrighty, I'm on the old fortified mud walls of Ayaz Kala. Kala means fort or fortress. Here it looks like it would have been a protected tunnel kind of underneath here. They could potentially, I guess, maybe move troops or whatever. Then you have people up the top. It looks like it's sort of all fallen through. So Ayaz Kala. What's Ayaz Kala about? Where am I? What's going on? These are all fantastic questions, my fun little friends. So we'll get to a good little viewpoint and then we'll have a little yarn about the colours. The colours? That's Q-A-L-A. Colour. Not a lot of colour going on out here. So right now I'm in an old fort, Khorezm Kala, and this here was once part of many forts that were around here in the Khorezm civilization that used to span way out through these deserts. It was this area had been here for this one's about, wow, it's over 2,000 years old. Civilization's been in this part of the world for well over 2 millennia. This particular fort was in its prime in about the 6th or 7th century AD, and there's many of them out here. So this area here has about 50 forts similar to this, only 20 of which have been discovered to date. It's amazing to think that somewhere out here are 30 forts yet to be found. This civilization spanned hundreds and hundreds of square kilometers off to the Aral Sea, back when this used to be a huge delta system. So the rivers that we were at when we were up the Wakhan corridor, the Oxus River from the Karakalpakstan mountains and the Wakhan on the borders of China and Pakistan, that big river system essentially forms the boundary with Afghanistan and Turkmenistan and comes the whole way through, and it used to come through into here and form this huge delta system. At some point in the last millennium, the river through natural causes changed its path slightly south into current day Turkmenistan, and these civilizations that had been here for forever and a day all of a sudden found themselves in a dried up alluvial delta. It's so as the river changed course, which of course wouldn't have happened overnight, but slowly the civilizations had to move further south to where the river system was kind of like moving to, and this entire civilization of the Khorezms, the Khorezmenians, all packed up and left, and And yeah, there used to be towns, there were forts, you know, it would have been huge areas of farming and cropping. It would have been a very rich and diverse region. So that's a little bit about what's going on here. This one here, yeah, so you can very clearly see the old fortified wall around it. And there's a couple of them. There's another one down on the other side of the hill, and we're not going to go check out all 20 of them today. We're going to go check out three of the cooler ones. Well, when I say cooler, three of the ones that the drivers of Khiva will actually take you to, because the roads are pretty bad. And there's one particular one that I did want to go to, but yeah, trying to get a driver to take you to some of these ones here is a bit difficult. You can only imagine what would have been going on in here. This would have been like a citadel. There would have been like hustle and bustle going on in here, and it wouldn't have been a desert plains that we're looking out on as we're seeing today. So here we go. Here's a little, I'm guessing what would have been a defensive rampart built out here. Ooh, where does that go? Nowhere. It's just been washed through. You can kind of still make out these, yeah, where people, oh, you can see, you know, the base, oh, the whole way along here actually. It's pretty good, yeah, indication. You can see the old fortified pieces. Very similar actually to the one in Khiva, where they come out, and they would have been like, you know, built out on a different angle. Some of them are not so good anymore. Yeah, the whole way around, and you can still see where the slits for arrows for your archers at the ready, through them, these little slits here the whole way around. So, you know, for the time that this had been here, I don't know, let's say, oh, let's chuck some figure out there, shall we? 1500 years. Man, imagine in its time, where history hasn't really accounted for all the battles and the empires and struggles that places like this would have had. So interesting. So every now and then you can kind of see that where I'm standing right now, there would have been a large fortified wall up here. I'd be running along on a path or on sentry duty, and underneath was a tunnel system. Yes. So all under here, and you can see it pass through here. It's amazing that these mud bricks still standing, over 2,000 years old. The archways are still there, but as you can see, the desert is slowly, erosion and the desert winds slowly taking over good old Khorezm. So you can see here, this would have been the main entranceway into the fort. This would have had huge defensive walls here, part of which are remaining, but obviously over on this side wall here they could guard, putting their arrows down and spears at whoever was coming through, friend or foe. They probably had some huge doorways, led them in, and they would have been received into this area here before. And you can see over here it's double walled as well, so anybody that came in here, no funny business. They still weren't in yet. They were just corralled and then could be shot like fish in a barrel. But if they weren't, and they were friend, then they were able to come in through and then be received in through into the main fortified area. And went to the main fort, the citadel, and then had a lovely cup of tea. You see down here there's another fort, and one that the desert sands have reclaimed. There's one just here, so there's three in very close proximity. This one here looks really cool. Also looks like it's like this fort where we're on is built, you can see the sort of cliff edge along here, so it would have been exceptionally difficult for invading forces to come up, but it's also difficult for Jakey to get down there to get to that fort. Well, there's the main mayor's colour, and I've come to that one that I saw, and I'm finding that I would be a really terrible invading force because I can't find a way in. It's just seems impenetrable. Oh, we're coming to a wall over here. Oh yeah, I can get through that. Oh, let's do a little invading force run. Charge! I'm in. Okay. Now what happens? They they heard me coming and they shut their dacks. They were like, we're getting out before that madman comes here. Yeah, there they are. They're all fleeing across the desert plains. I now declare this castle the kingdom of Jacobia, and everyone shall greet me with Salam ala Kubra. This isn't a Kubra. Oh god. Salam ala Kubra, get it? Anyway, right on, I thought it was good. I also get this castle and you don't, so sucks to be you. Salam ala Kubra. Here's... Oh, so I went the long way around to invade. I came through the back door. That would have been the front door there. I should have just knocked. But then would I have got the castle to myself? Would they have fled? It's a lot smaller. So, but when it comes to castles, it's not the size that matters, is it? It's just it's what's within that matters, and that's me. Okay, I can see why my driver said nobody comes here. This looks like it would have been, oh, so they had a central fire pit where they'd gather around in here in the evenings and tell stories. That would have been cute. I think I'll reinstate that, and the kingdom of Jacobia will be known as a hospitable land full of stories around the fire. There's my black steed waiting for me below. Alrighty. I'm gonna go, as every new king of a castle should first do, is find subjects. Otherwise you're just king of nothing. King of nothingness. Okay, I'm done with this castle complex. I'll put my flag in here later. In the meantime, I'll find way out. Okay, now I'll leave by the front gate. Jeez, he really made a steep driveway to his front gate, didn't he? I'm guessing there weren't too many horse-drawn wagons coming up this way. You can see, I guess, this defensive wall that's here would have run the whole way down here. There's some buildings down there. Let's gallop. Let us gallop away from Jacobia. I'm walking around the lower buildings of Jacobia. I guess is where potentially the average Jacobian used to live. Now this would have been just somebody's little house in here, had a little window, a courtyard, follow the laneway through. Yes. This would have been the toilets. I think it still is. Okay. All right, the average Joe Jacobian, didn't have the best place to live. But that wasn't my problem. I was the freaking king, man. Farewell, Jacobia. I'll be back. I'll be back. I won't be back. This one here is called Toprak Kala. Toprak Kala was this was the sort of the fortified palace for the kings. Kings of the Khorezm civilization. This here was at its peak in the 3rd and the 4th century, so it's a bit older than the other one. It's interesting to think that these civilizations had been ruling here for 1,000 odd years before Islam had even been invented. So it's quite a large complex that the kings of Khorezm created here, and you can still see the individual mud block work. This isn't made of stone like the pyramids of Egypt or anything. This is made just from the mud that's around here, and bunged it all together, and this is what you get. It's quite amazing that 2,000 years later, and maybe 1,500 years after it was all abandoned, that it's still here. What was this? Why did they have little holes in here? What's that? Oh, was this their wine cellar? Yeah, I reckon I found their wine cellar. They love just getting on the piss, the Khorezm kings. The little tunnels leading right through. Well, maybe these aren't little, maybe we're all assuming the Khorezms were normal sized people, I'm guessing. Like, they might have only been a foot tall. Okay, well, I've established that because the wine holes in their cellar, they look too small for a normal sized wine bottle. So Khorezms were a tiny race. They were like the miniatures that we saw. Where was that? Bukhara. Man, so the people around here were tiny. Anywhere between 2 apples high and 5 apples high is probably my best guess as a unqualified archaeologist. See, I feel like this is where a guide could shed a bit more light on what's happening here. There seems to be a series of tunnels linking these rooms together through here. Looks like the old fortified walls carry on that way. Let's get to a higher vantage point. Gosh, this must have been a mountain for the tiny Khorezms. And if I rocked up back in 300 AD to here at 6'3", I would have been just like, they would have seen me coming across the plains, galloping, and they would have just crapped their dacks and gone, fucking look at this thing, it's huge. Just take it, just take it. I would have been like the giant ruler of the Khorezm civilization. Yeah. I would have kept them on though. Like, I like having little people around me. It makes me feel bigger. You can see in these little arched alcoves here the way that they built the walls with straw mixed in with the mud, which held it all together. It's worked. Look at this. But I reckon what this is, you guys remember that the eastern entrance to Khiva with the little niched areas where slaves, I reckon this is where they kept little slaves in here, little 2-foot high slaves. You'd probably fit 4 Khorezmian slaves in each one of these. Definitely. Righto, that's what's going on with that. Clearly in here's an ancient Khorezmian caravanserai. They would have come through on their miniature camels, and yeah, you'd tie your little mini camels up in here. You could fit a few in there, in the bunk beds, asleep for the night. I would have come through as their ruler. The little doorways only come up to my knee, and I would have boomed to them, "All of you must go to sleep now." And they'd be like, "Yes, Lord Jacobian. Salam alaikum, bro." There's little tunnels and archways and things dotted all around this complex, lending to me to believe that historians have had it wrong all along. They're all working under the assumption that this is made by an ancient human civilization. I believe that the Australian wombats came here and just dug a whole heap of bloody tunnels through a big muddy mountain. And then they left and they went back to Australia because there's no beer here. And now everyone's like, whoa, look at this like ancient civilization of Khorezm. No, there's a bunch of wombats doing their thing. All right, Wombat Palace. On to the next. On to the next highly accurate history. History by Jack. History by Jack. It's got the same theme. It's history by Jack. Questionable. This one here is Kizilkala. I like the sound of this one. Kizilkala. Feels good to say. Try it. I have no idea why they built them with all the wood sticking out. What was the... I'm guessing it added some kind of structural integrity to it. Because surely as a defensive system you wouldn't want that. You've just created a big ladder system for people to climb up. Who knows? Let's go check out the fun sounding Kizilkala. Kizilkala's a lot of the same, isn't it? There's a few wombat holes kicking around. It's all just kizilating itself, isn't it? Look, I think I have no more history to add. It's a lot. Imagine if you were just like back in Australia, like, oh, I want to see all 20, and then I want to uncover the other 30. I want to see all 50 of these. I'm sort of semi-done with it after 2. They're all, yeah, I mean, yeah, what do you